Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call to order the Township of Howell, Township of Howell Planning Board, Thursday, December 19th, 2019, regular meeting. Eileen, please read the opening statement.
I hereby declare this meeting of the Howell Township Planning Board to be open. Adequate notice having been given pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act in the following manner. First, on January 4th, 2019, a copy of said notice was mailed to the Star-Ledger and the Tri-Town News. Second, on January 4th, 2019, a copy of said notice was hand-delivered to the clerk of the Township of Howell. Third, on January 4th, 2019, said notice was posted in the office of the Planning Board and on the bulletin board in the Howell Township Municipal Building, 4567 Route 9, Howell Township, New Jersey. In accordance with the Fire Prevention Code and your safety, please be advised that this facility was designed with 2 emergency exits, which are on your right at the front and rear of the meeting room. Furthermore, smoking is not permitted in the municipal building. Please take note that this meeting is being videotaped for possible future broadcast on Howell Township TV 77.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Dorado has been excused. Mr. Husser?
Here.
Chief Kudrick has been excused. Mr. Nicastro?
Here.
Mr. Schneider?
Here.
Mr. Tannenhouse?
Here.
Mr. Seaman?
Here.
Mr. Everett?
Here.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Here.
And Chairman Nash.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag and remain standing for a moment of silence for our troops and first responders. Paul, do the honors, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, first order of business on our agenda is going to be approval of minutes. I have, for more memorialization, the regular meeting of September 5th, 2019. Eligible voters are Mr. Huser, Mr. Schneider, Mr. Tannenhouse, and myself. Gentlemen, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of September 5th, 2019.
Second.
That was Brian on the second.
Got that. Mr. Husser?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Tannenhouse?
Yes.
Mr. Everett?
Yes.
And Chairman Nash.
Oh, I am sorry about that. Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
I'm sorry about that. Next one is for the regular meeting of September 19th, 2019. Mr. Kuzer, Mr. Nicastro, Mr. Schneider, Mr. Tannenhouse, Mr. Seaman, Deputy Mayor O'Donnell, and myself are the eligible voters. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve regular meeting minutes of September 19th, 2019.
Thank you.
Second.
Second is Mr. Tannenhouse.
Thank you. Mr. Husser?
Yes.
Mr. Nicastro?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Tannenhouse?
Yes.
Mr. Seaman?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
And Chairman Nash.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Last one is the regular meeting of October 3rd, 2019. Eligible voters, Mr. Huser, Mr. Schneider, Mr. Seaman, and myself. Gentlemen, do I have a motion?
Make a motion to accept the minutes of October 3rd.
Thank you.
Second.
Mr. Everett. No, I'm sorry.
Mr. Seaman?
Mr. Seaman, yes.
Thank you. Mr. Husser?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Seaman?
Yes.
And Chairman Nash.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Correspondence?
Yes, I do have correspondence. I had an email from Sal Alfieri asking to move the application for Guild Petroleum. His father passed away and today was the funeral. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to schedule anything. So I told him I would just carry it to January 16th, 2020 for scheduling purposes only, and it would be carried further, and he's in agreement and he will give us an extension of time. That's not a problem.
Okay. Mr. Cucchiaro, make the announcement, please.
Sure. The application of Gill Petroleum, case number SP-1006, we carried to the board's January 16, 2020 reorganization meeting for schedule purposes only. There'll be no further notice to property owners. That meeting begins 7 o'clock here in the main meeting room at Town Hall.
The next correspondence I have from his attorney, Todd Cohen, for the DNR management application. He asked that this matter be carried from tonight's agenda to the meeting of January 30th, 2020, with no further public notice, and he's also granted the board an extension of time through February 29th, 2020.
So we haven't did we publish our schedule for next year yet?
Just the 3 meeting dates in January.
So that's
Special
one of
meeting-
them?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the application of DNR Management LLC, case number SD-2987, will be carried to the board's January 30th, 2019 meeting, beginning, January 20th, January 30th, 2020.
January 30th, 2020, yes.
Right. January 30th, 2020, beginning 7 o'clock here at Town Hall in the main meeting room. There'll be no further notice to property owners.
Thank you.
Do you
And
know?
the third letter is from Francis Accazano. He's the attorney for the Smith Family Properties, and he also asked that his application be carried to January 30th, 2020, and he granted an extension of time as well.
Okay, so the application of Smith Family Properties LLC, case number SP-1041A, be carried to the board's January 30th, 2020 meeting beginning 7 o'clock here in the main meeting room at Town Hall. There'll be no further notice to property owners.
And that's all the correspondence I have.
Okay, thank you. All right, we are going to we have one resolution that we have to memorialize
We have
tonight.
3.
Well, there is a request to carry the other two.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
we're going to need a motion to memorialize case number SD 2981F, like in Frank, Arnold Boulevard LLC, and TEK Warehouse LLC. It's a resolution granting final major subdivision approval. Eligible voters, Mr. Kuzer, Mr. Schneider, Mr. Tannenhouse, Mr. Seaman, Deputy Mayor O'Donnell, and myself. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to memorialize case number SD-2981F.
Thank you, Mr. Tannenhouse. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Kuzer, second.
Mr. Husser?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes,
Mr. Tannenhouse?
Yes.
Mr. Seaman?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
And Chairman Nash.
Yes.
Motion carries, resolutions memorialized.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to new business. I'm going to slightly switch the order of this based upon the board members' availability. So the first application that we're going to hear is going to be an extension of time for case number SP 1032. It's Brian Hegarty. It's an extension of time. It's application of Brian Hegarty as applicant and owner seeking 1-year extension of time on final major site plan approval granted by the board in a resolution memorialized December 21st, 2017, to remove all existing site improvement and construct a 4,332 square foot multi-tenant building on premises known as Lot 180, Block 185, Lot 14, and the address is 1300 New Jersey State Highway Route 33. Mr. Cohen.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, board professionals. Todd Cohen for the applicant, Brian Hegarty and A-Plus Power Washing. You stated the facts of the application. My client has received all of his outside agency approvals. A letter of compliance was issued by the Howell Township Planning Board professionals on August 31st of 2018. He actually had a pre-construction meeting of that month as well. The issue why he didn't go forward at that time was the sewer versus septic. As you know, the sewer is being run down Route 33. It's going to be right in front of his property. He'd like to hook into the sewer. He has estimates for the cost of the sewer. The sewer should be there any week, literally. So and he'd like to begin construction in the spring. And with the sewer, not have to build a septic system. That's why he delayed construction, thus need for the extension of time.
So, Mr. Cohen, is the one-year extension sufficient?
Yes, it should be. Yes, he wants to start construction this spring, so that should be more than sufficient.
Well, the resolution was memorialized December 21st, 2017.
Right.
Well, that
you
means,
have 3 years?
No, it's final approval, so you have 2, and then
Right.
you have to seek your extension, which is why we're here now. It runs out this month.
yeah, so the 2 years runs this month, the 1 year would run to next December.
Right,
Correct.
okay. Board have any questions? Ms. Newman, you have any input on this you'd like?
I don't have anything additional to offer, no.
Okay. Do I have a motion granting the extension?
Make a motion to give a one-year extension, case number SD
1032.
1032.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Mr. Husser?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Tannenhouse?
Yes.
Mr. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Everett?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Chairman Nash?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
All right, the next one is going to be case number SD 2985, Rosemary Bird. It's an extension of time. It's an application of Rosemary Bird as applicant and Rosemary Bird and Stanley Doman as owners seeking a one-year extension of time on minor subdivision approval granted. Resolution memorialized May 9th, 2019, to re-subdivide 3 existing lots into 3 new lots by reducing the size of 2 lots and conveying the additional area to the 3rd lot. And if approved, vacate the buffer easement on 2 of the lots premises known as Block 42, lots 70.01, 70.02, and 70.03. The address is 501, 503, and 505 Newton's Corner Road. Mr. Cohen, before you move,
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to recuse myself.
yes?
I have to recuse myself as well.
Let the
And
rec-
I as well.
Okay, let the record show that Mr. Tannenhouse, Mr. Husser, and Deputy Mayor O'Donnell have reclused themselves. We didn't do those 2 because carry over. Okay, Mr. Cohen.
Yes, Todd Cohen for the applicant, Rosemary Bird. This is a minor subdivision granted in May of this year. The 190-day period to which to perfect expired at the end of November. My client has complied with all conditions of approval. The last condition was erection of a fence, a privacy fence that had some issues. My client finally got it done, but the 190-day period was expiring, so technically the map is in. It just needs signatures before it can be recorded. I don't need a year extension. That was in my letter. I apologize. If you could simply give us another, I don't know, Ron, do we need 190 or do we have to take, can we take less? I mean, we don't need much time, so
I would ask for the 190.
that's what yeah, okay.
Just in case.
All right, so we're going
but-
to amend the application to be an extension of time of 190 days.
That's correct.
So you said everything in the resolution has been satisfied?
Yes.
So the resolution was recorded?
The resolution was recorded.
That was one of the conditions.
Be honest with you, Ron, I didn't bring the rest of my file, so I don't know. It's a planning board case, though. Really, it was
Well, there was a lot of issues concerning the neighboring property owner
Correct.
and buffering, and we wanted
Right.
to make sure that that was captured in the chain of title, and that was condition number 6.
okay. I cannot honestly tell you that it was, but I will tell you if it wasn't, it will be tomorrow.
Okay. or within the 190 days.
Yes, thank you. I'll make a note to check that.
And then it was just the fence you said that needed to be,
Fence, it has since been erected. It's totally complete.
and then there was just condition number 10 where it said the applicant shall maintain a 20-foot, let me just make sure I'm on the right resolution before I go any further. I believe I am.
Yeah, the 20-foot buffer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so the applicant shall maintain a 20-foot width of existing trees for a length of 100 feet on new lot 70.06 as additional buffer with lot 71, subject to review and approval of the board certified tree expert. So that's been
Yes.
resolved with Sherry, that's out there?
No, you can't testify. The trees are there, yes.
And all new buffers, they said, would be installed by October 31st, 2019, so any new buffer that wasn't already out there, that's now been installed?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So then just, if the resolution has already been recorded, just let us know. If it has not been recorded, just please do and send us the copy.
Will do.
Ms. Newman, any comments?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, board have any questions? All right, do I have a motion to grant a 190-day extension with the stipulation of the filing of the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you. Mr. Schneider, second.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Everett?
Yes.
Chairman Nash?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much for your time.
All right, the remaining item on the agenda is case number SP 935A-3, Benderson Development Company, LLC. It's an amended preliminary and final major site plan. It's application of Benderson Development Company, LLC as applicant, Buffalo Park Ton, LLC, Waynco Properties, LLC, and Fenderstein Associates, LLC, as owners seeking amended preliminary and final major site plan approval with ancillary design waiver relief to construct an approximately 2,820 square foot addition along the rear of the existing multi-tenant commercial retail building near the northeast building corner, and update a portion of the building facade on premises known as Block 28, Lot 66.01, Route 9, and Locust Avenue.
Hold that thought. Let me just get the other members.
I thought they reclused themselves for both applications.
Not the deputy mayor, I think she can sit on this one.
They're just going to put it on the record that they're using social media, what the good stuff is going on. Why?
Mr. Tannenhouse,
Yes. I have to recuse myself from this one.
Mr. Huza, Mr. Tannenhouse, do you recluse or you?
No, I'm good.
You good on this one?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. See you next year.
Night.
Happy holidays.
Night.
You're good on this? Okay.
Mr.
Go ahead,
Chairman,
sir.
thank you, members of the board, good evening. As stated, I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Benderson Development Company, LLC. It's an application for amended preliminary and final major site plan approval. There
It's for
are,
submission waivers.
exactly, we're here for submission waivers.
If you just give us your name first for the record,
It's Michael Lario from Nemad, Perillo, Davis, and Goldstein,
and just spell your last name for us?
Lario.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Lario.
There was a collection of waivers requested as part of this application. We are here today for this application to be deemed complete and given a hearing date.
All right, so our normal policy is I ask our board engineer to comment on the submission waivers.
Okay.
Ms. Newman?
Yeah, so if I could, Mr. Chairman, we have a report dated December 9th, 2019. The submission waivers are specifically outlined in item 3, and although most of them are things that we see in the course of an application, I think what's important to note here is this is an amended application, and it's really very specific to a small building addition to the site. So based upon the scope of the application, I take no exception to the granting of the waivers for the purposes of deeming this application complete.
Okay, thank you. Does the board have any questions? Do I have a motion to grant the submission waiver?
I'll make a motion to grant the submission waivers. Case number SP-935A-3.
Second.
That was Mr. Nacastro?
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Nacastro?
Yes.
Mr. Schneider?
Yes.
Mr. Tannenhouse?
Yes.
Mr. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Everett?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Chairman Nash?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And council, you'll be called in for a TRC and at the board engineer's office, and at that time, you'll get cleared for a hearing date.
Okay. Has a date for the TRC been scheduled yet? Or
We meet the first Tuesday of every month, but just confirm with CME.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
I mean, a good day.
All right. Seeing that there's
Already
nothing
slept.
else left on the agenda, do I have I'm sorry, Mr. Cucchiara? Is there, Ron?
Okay.
Any reason to go into executive?
No, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Seeing that, Brian, no master plan update?
No, no master plan update at this point.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I would make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Tannenhouse, second. Mr. Seaman, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everyone. Have a good and safe holiday.
Thank you.
Likewise.